in to today's show, and I'll tell you what really happened in Maui. Woo-ha!
I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution.
I love it.
And we're back for another installment of After Hours. George is going to be surfing the 100-foot wave a little bit later. We got Greg Valentino here, Larry Pollock, and Armand Adibi. John is stuck in traffic. So he's the only guy I know who moves to like South Carolina and has to deal with New York traffic in South Carolina, right? He's always in traffic, right. This guy.
That's Seems right. Like
Which sounds like he might be making up the story, because I didn't think there was any traffic in South Carolina.
Dude, there's nothing worse than fucking Long Island's LIE. That's for no reason there's traffic 24
Belt
hours.
Parkway. I think the Belt Parkway is worse, to be honest with you.
You think the Belt Park? Yeah, maybe.
Maybe once in the history of driving the Belt Parkway have I ever gone from the Verrazano Bridge to the Southern State Parkway, which takes you to Long Island, where I lived. Maybe once in the history that I there was no traffic on there. Maybe. And it was 4 a.m. when I did it. You
know what's funny about the Belt and the Van Wyck? These people they have no idea what we're talking about. But that's how you get into New York City, and that's how you get into the into the airports in New York. But those roads have been under construction since I was a teenager, and
they never stop. Never ending.
They will. It's unbelievable.
George used to drive that thing, right when he used to pick Summer up and bring her back.
Oh yeah.
I said, "You're out of your mind." He would drive all the way to the Jersey Shore, pick her up, and bring her back to Long Island.
People would stop all the way in the left lane that had a fender bender, and would get out, and look at their cars like
middle of the parkway.
Yeah. I'm like, are you crazy? Pull it over.
All right, I'm going to test you guys to see if your New York knowledge. As you're on the Belt Parkway, approaching the Verrazano Bridge, which connects, by the way, Brooklyn with Staten Island, what's the sign? What does the sign say that you pass right before you get off and get onto the Verrazano Bridge?
Was it something about the boxer there fucking owning the bridge?
It's a funny sign, but it's a real street.
You sure it wasn't about was it about not about Joe Louis?
I can't believe George doesn't know. He drove the parkway 4 million times.
I hate that fucking.
It's about Brooklyn. It's about your.
What does it say? He probably. You know what? I guarantee you, George doesn't know.
Bada bing, you're entering Brooklyn. No, what the hell is?
Yeah. He can't. I knew it. You didn't. You couldn't read the sign. That's why.
Yeah, could I not forget?
Forget about it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I had it. Bada bing was close. But Bada bing was close. That was.
Just forget about it. That's the sign. It's a real sign.
How many miles is that bridge? The Verrazano Bridge is fucking like 4 miles long.
Yeah. Logan wants to say hi. He's homesick from school.
Logan.
We thought he was playing hooky, but then he went from having no fever this morning to having a fever, so he's home. Say hi. Here's your chance.
Hey, Logan.
You want to do a little dance? No? Okay.
Hey, Logan, I hear you drink Prime drink. Tell me what how did you find out? I want to know how you found out about Prime drink. That drink Prime.
I just heard it on.
Who told you? Whose drink is it? You know.
Logan Paul and KSI's drink.
Logan Paul and KSI's drink.
Oh my God.
How do you know Logan Paul? How did you find out about him? By going on the internet, on YouTube?
No, I just found it at Target.
He listens on the internet. Yes, he does.
That's how.
Daddy crazy later.
They have an energy drink too.
He's not allowed to eat
the energy drink's not. Let me tell you, the energy drink is not good. But the Prime drink, the actual drink that's not carbonated, that's in a plastic, that's a good drink. It's made with coconut water and has amino acids in it. So maybe your dad will come out with a drink like that one day.
Yep.
With actually more electrolytes, more sodium.
We have an electrolyte drink where we're working on.
Huh?
Logan, drink Stimulize. Drink Daddy Stimulize.
The packets. You ever see the little packets? You rip off the packet, you pour it into.
Yeah,
that's what we're working on actually.
The stick packs. Yeah, that's. See, the kids.
Stick packs are the hot thing now. Yeah, everyone wants stick packs.
It's simple. I saw the kids comparing Gatorade to kids like his age are making commercials. They're comparing Gatorade to Prime. You know, they're making their own. Yeah, they get like 30,000 views.
Yeah, I'll do a taste test with him. I'll give him mine. I'll give him the other one. He'll say the other one's better.
But
most of those amino drinks though have like 1/100th of aminos.
Yeah.
Dude, they just released the new Ice Pop Energy Prime.
They just released a new Ice Pop Energy Prime. He said
you don't need the Energy Prime.
You should make ice pops out of it. Freeze it.
Energy.
Dave, no dye. The thing is about Prime too. There's no dye. They have no dye in it.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you're gonna make yours with no dye?
No dye and no artificial sweeteners. We're gonna make it with.
So you're gonna use regular sugar?
No, we're gonna use monk fruit.
Oh, monk fruit. There's monk, but what's the difference between monk fruit and sugar? And that I know
monk fruit is it comes from a fruit, but it's not absorbable.
But is that good? I'm just being devil's advocate.
It's just for flavoring. The electrolytes are what you want. You don't necessarily need sugar.
But don't you need, like, for example, like training in an hour, other than bodybuilding, training like a extreme.
Hey, do you guys remember Universal Protein and all that shit? The drinks that came in a shampoo
Logan
box?
wants you to see my picture I drew of my daughter. He said it's the evil version of her, though. All right, go watch TV.
Dude, them Universal drinks, they tested them and they had zero protein in
it.
Which one did they test?
Remember the Universal that came in the Universal?
Oh, yeah.
They came in the 80s, they came in a shampoo bottle, looked like a shampoo bottle, and they tested that shit. The Universal got in trouble, had zero, no aminos, no nothing. Well, it was basically fucking, it was like it was
cursing. No cursing in front of Logan.
Most of those they tested, and it was like you would have to have literally 1,000 of them to actually equal amino acids. Like there was like a speck in there.
You're talking about Universal?
No, not you. I mean, someone recent.
Strength Systems USA. They used to sponsor the Nationals, and they used to have like all these products. Like they would call like Clenbuterol. They would like have knockoff names of all the anabolics.
Yeah.
And they had protein powders too. Bill Phillips, when he first started Muscle Media, started testing all those products. And they were like, they had like no protein in them. They had like 20, they said they had no carbs. They had like 25 grams of carbs. Like that was the first person to really start exposing all these companies that were fraudulent. Now you can't get away with it because
Universal got in trouble though. They got in trouble.
Yeah, of course they did.
Dude, do you remember Scott? Dave, do you remember Scott from American Bodybuilders?
Yes.
The Long Island guy. You remember Scott, right? I used to deal with him all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would tell me that, that shit. He would tell me all kinds of stuff about that. Even the Universal Bodybuilding.
Hey, Greg, tell Logan to go go watch TV because he's gonna get in trouble otherwise.
Logan. See if Jake Paul's on TV or
tell him I'm gonna send him to your house, Greg, and then we're gonna make him clean all the statues that you have all over your yard.
Dude, I'll corrupt him even more.
Yeah, no, that's why we would do it. 100 statues he's got in his front yard.
Dude, I got more than that.
Actually, your mom is going to call your MMA coach.
Out.
Your mixed martial arts coach is going to come over.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you don't want Mr. G coming here. Then he's going to make you run laps. Let's go.
Uh-oh. I can't even see him. You know what it is?
He's off camera. He's hiding. He's trying to hide from my wife. So
it's this big. Well, I can't even see. Whenever you show videos, I can't see. It's like this big to me.
All right, go. I got to talk to these guys. We got important stuff to talk about. Yeah, no.
Hey,
these guys curse. They can't control themselves.
No, we don't. We don't curse. We don't curse anymore.
Can I ask you guys a question?
What?
I want to know what you guys think about that Cali muscle. If you really think he's dying, because I think that's fake. I don't. He does videos
It's
where he
for views, Greg. It's just for views.
Didn't he say he was going to stop all his heart medication?
Yeah, but I don't know if I believe all that. I like him. I watched some of his videos. He makes me laugh so hard when he was bodybuilding. You know, he would make me laugh. You know, and people would believe that he would actually eat some of the shit he would make. You know, he'd make a cake out of like Fruity Pebbles, Sprite soda, and like what do you call fruit cocktail. And there's people who actually believe that shit. Like, no, he made it and he ate it. But he would make me laugh my ass off. But I think that this stuff, I agree with you, Armand. He stands like this and he'll take a picture of himself with a sad face. Or the other day he was supposedly in a hospital, but I could see a woman sitting at a desk. Like it didn't look like no hospital. You know what I'm saying?
He's got to that level where it's just everything for views. He's got that mindset. Just all he cares about is clicks, no matter what. Like you know, his car giveaways. You know, like you see him giving away like Red Eyes and Trackhawks, like, and people are like, "Is that even real? Is he really giving those cars away?" I'm like, "There's no way.
No way.
Those are like $80,000, $90,000 car, $100,000 cars."
He gives that shit away every week. He'd be broke. And number one. Number two, I want to see one person go, dude, I won that car from Cali Muscle. Look, there it is in my driveway. I want to see one person.
It's just like, hey, Greg, I'm going to give you a car. Let's make a video. You're my buddy. Like, people don't know we're buddies. And
John Bravo did a whole thing on it that it was a scam.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The guy, he came to get the car and then he offered him money instead of the car. And then it was a whole setup.
Let me tell you something. Do you remember that girl, Little Tay?
Wait, I think he looks better, actually.
He looks great. I actually like him like this. I think he looks great. I do. I like the guy. I like the guy a lot. I hope he's healthy. I don't want to see him get sick. He makes me laugh, bro. He'd be a great guy to hang out with. But do you remember that girl, Little Tay? That she was like, she would tell guys like, yo, motherfucker, what you looking at? Like, she was crazy. She was 11 years old. And she's standing with wads of hundreds. And she would give away cars or stand by her new car, Bentley. Those are her neighbors' cars and stuff,
What do you believe this? He wrote in this post, he did 23 days of absolutely nothing but watermelon.
Do you believe that?
I guess it was a watermelon detox.
Absolutely not.
He looks great. I actually think he looks really good like this. You know what I mean? I do. Look at the fucking abs on that guy too.
Yeah. So he also said that he has to do cardio now to help. He's doing cardio.
He looks great. I think he looks great.
Here's my question to you, Dave. Is cardio effective if you're just walking slow at a slow rate?
Yeah.
I think if you're moving, you're getting circulation, you're burning fat. Yeah, I think it's increasing your metabolism. I don't think you have to do like super high intensity cardio to get a good benefit out of it,
I just think though, like what Armand was saying, I agree with Armand. I think that he's no longer super jacked. So a lot of people are like, fuck it. He's not jacked. I'm not watching. So I think he's trying to come up with he's trying to reinvent himself, which is okay. But don't make believe you're dying. I don't know if he's really dying. I hope he's not. So if you're watching this, I think you're a fucking great guy. I hope to God you don't, that you're fucking around. But to be honest with you, I think he looks great. I don't know that doesn't look like a dying man to me. I mean, his body, he's not jacked like he was, but he's still really built. And
he's dying. I thought he just said that he was not taking his heart medication anymore.
Yeah, he did a video where he said he's dying. He showed him it says I'm dying or Cali Muscle.
We're all, I got news for you. We're all dying.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a matter of when. That's the only.
Yeah, that's it. We're trying to slow the process down.
Right. Exactly.
Dude, when he did the fucking video, when he was super jacked, right? He did this video where, because he kept saying he was like natural and whatever the hell he was saying. But he did this video where he said, I'm finally going to expose my cycle. I know you've all been breaking my balls. I'm going to show you my cycle right now. Are you ready? And then all of a sudden it shows him drive away on a bicycle. It was I laughed because the way he did that shit, I laughed so fucking hard. I was like crying because his seriousness. And the way he pulled it off, and then he just drove off like a mic drop. He just drove off on a bicycle, and it was the funniest fucking thing.
He's a personality, Greg. Like
he makes me laugh. I like him.
I never found him funny. I don't know why. I just never.
He's got a video. It's called "Am I Dying?" Not "I Am Dying." It's called "Am I Dying?" on his YouTube. So I think he's just he's trying to bring attention to what he went through with his heart, and I think he's putting up. Clickbait titles, which is what everyone does, obviously, to get people to watch the video. And if am I dying with a question mark looks like I am dying, then that's good for him because then more people will tune in, right?
Because I read things quick. Greg, you probably like me. You read it so quick that you like.
People love bad news. People love bad news. I hate to say it. People love bad news. You know what videos get the most clicks on RX Muscle? The ones I do about if someone dies and I do like a tribute or obituary to them. Those videos get millions of hits.
When people are down on their luck, that's what people like.
Yeah.
George Carlin used to say that people love misery. They love a good disaster. Yeah. You know, like he would make jokes. But dude, not for nothing. He's trying to reinvent himself. And I think, I like him. I think he's fucking funny. But, all that dying shit, it's because like all these bodybuilders die. So maybe he's using that as the whole spiel. And, now steroids are bad. And
Why did that have to do with his heart attack? Steroids have to do with his heart attack.
No, he tries to say that shit though.
Yeah, but a lot of guys do that stuff, Greg. And you know what? It bothers me a little bit. When Lyle Alzado, remember when he got really sick and he had that rare, lymphoma that he died of, and he tried to blame steroids also. Like,
do you know what Paul DeMeo told me?
It's everyone
Paul DeMeo told me that Lyle Alzado had AIDS. I get everything wrong, but I know Paul told me that, but that doesn't mean this is right.
Well, wouldn't John know? John trained with him.
But John was friends with him. John swears he wasn't gay and that he didn't have AIDS. But
no, that had nothing to do with it. Neither was Magic Johnson. Neither was Tommy Morrison. I don't know. I was there. I saw him Lyle Alzado. I didn't train with him, but I used to see him all the time. He was big, bad motherfucker.
He blamed his death on growth hormone, but the type of
Crest Corman
brain cancer that he had only can come from AIDS.
Thank you.
Yeah,
it only can come from AIDS. It doesn't.
Well, they're
come
trying
from
to say he
else.
was gay, or he just slept a lot of women?
No.
Well,
did you know? Greg, did you know Ted Dixon?
Yeah, Ted Dixon told me personally that Lyle Alzado used to roam the streets of Hollywood, picking up these gay, what do you call them, young guys, hookers or whatever.
That's what that. Yeah, I don't know if Ted was also slightly a bit of. May he rest in peace. He was a bullshitter too. So I don't know if he was lying or not, but he did tell me that too. So.
Yeah, but a lot of these guys do shit that you don't know. Like, they could be a big rugged guy. Sometimes they do that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Ted said he was dating him for a while. So I don't know. Ted, but you never know what to believe with Ted.
Ted was dating. Who the hell is
this guy? Ted Dixon was like all he did was hang around, Gold's Venice. He used to get growth hormone for the guys, and he was
look at Oscar De La Hoya. You find out that he's dressing in drag and having sex with girls while he's in drag like a girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you don't know just because the guy's a big bad motherfucker. You don't know when the lights are out what he's doing. Right. So I don't know if Alzado got it like that. You can also get it like Tommy Morrison sharing needles and who knows what drugs he was doing and everything. I'm just saying, these guys. I know that Paul DeMeo swore to me that he didn't die that. Look at Matarazzo. Matarazzo also claimed from eating meat and taking steroids that he got the heart thing.
I was going to mention
died of that, right?
I was going to mention him next. Yeah, Mike really was down on the whole thing. And thought it was from steroids. But you know what? When you're dealt a bad genetic hand, let's face it. Look, I had open heart surgery. I'm only 55, and I had to have my aorta repaired. Who the heck knows what that caused? I didn't have any problems when I was 300 something pounds, and when I was taking gear, I'm on nothing, and I get an aortic aneurysm. So there is a genetic component to a lot of these things. Whether we made it worse, or better. With the stuff that we took and the way what we subjected our body to, you can't blame. It's not a cause and effect. In other words, steroids didn't cause Mike Matarazzo's issue. Possibly the fact that he had a predisposition like his father to coronary artery blockage. He never got they didn't have cardiac CT scans back when Mike was alive. He would have had to go for an angiogram, which is a surgical procedure. No one did that back then to see preemptively do I have any blockages? Had he done that, they might have been able to put some stents in and he might not have needed the open heart surgery, he had gotten. But
if I was a fly on the wall, in a gym, I guarantee there's guys that talk about you and say, I know Palumbo got that shit from growth hormone. I never heard it, but I'll bet you anything, because guys talk shit like that.
Well, what happens, Greg? People want to rationalize that the people that achieved something superior, look what happened to these guys. You see? He did this and he wound up with this, and so it makes them feel better about themselves not achieving anything. See, at least I'm healthy,
Not getting in the arena.
You heard about Ronnie Coleman all the time.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Ronnie said he wouldn't. Ronnie just said he wouldn't to change anything. As a matter of fact, he said he would have wished he would have lifted heavier on the squat, on that 800-pound squat. That was his only regret.
Yeah,
I believe him. I mean, I see him around here because I live here. He's happy. He's laughing. He generally seems happy. So I'm sure he hurts like hell every day, but he's happy.
Yeah.
He's such a good guy. Dude, you people out there that don't know him, I know him personally. He's a good man. I love Ronnie Coleman. What a good guy. If there were more bodybuilders like that guy, you know what I mean? He's he doesn't talk shit about it. He's very happy-go-lucky. If you know what I mean? I've had dinner with the guy. I've seen him eat fucking massive amounts of pasta, by the way. Pasta.
Did your mother cook for him like Haney?
No. I was he used to go when he was dating Alti. Alti Batista. Remember they were together and everything? Well, I got some funny stories, but I'm not going to say them here. But, we go to, Carlo Filippone, we would go to his restaurant and he'd be making like mounds of pasta and Ronnie would eat pasta, but he's fun though. He's a fucking fun guy. Right. He just, I love that guy.
He loves life.
Yeah.
Oh, he's full of life, man. Such a good guy.
I gotta play something for you guys. Remember the guy, You Gotta Be a Freak? He does those little videos.
Yeah.
Those fun videos. Well, he made one about you, Greg. All right. I got to play it. Hold on. Sid sent it to me last week. I forgot to play it.
He's done a few with me. They're funny.
Yeah. You're his most popular guy. All right, here we go.
You can start growing. I did it clean. It's Bush League. That's Bush League. You can start fucking growing. I did it clean. It's Bush League. Supplements, Bush League. You can start fucking growing. I did it on protein powder, bitch. That's Bush League. You can start fucking growing. I did it food train. That's Bush League. You can start fucking growing.
That was a video I did about when I was natural, you know what I mean? Back in the 70s, we only had protein. I mean, I took protein and lecithin because Arnold used to talk about lecithin fighting fat, you know what I mean? And bee pollen sometimes. But there was not even amino acids. When Mike Zumpano came out with amino acids in Unipro, those things were like stones. And I used to I remember I used to take them fucking things, right? And then I would shit. And I'd see the fucking amino acids in the toilet because they were like stones,
What about liver tablets?
Do you remember a brand called Musashi Aminos?
No.
They were supposedly the best ones. They were very expensive.
Yeah, but this was the first ones. Unipro came out with the amino acids. Mike Zumpano, who, by the way, wrote the Underground Steroid Handbook. I was in his office in a Gold Gym upstairs.
I know Mike well, yeah.
And he's actually the one who told me, dude, you're so fucking jacked for a guy who's never done anything. You should wait till you're like 24, 25. See, he's the one who got in my head, to be honest with you, when I first found and told me, don't do it. Don't. He actually discouraged me from even, thinking about doing it. But anyway, when I did those amino acids, from that day on, even to this day, with everything, my medicine and everything, like, whatever I take, I chew because, I don't want to get I'm always paranoid it's not going to break down, But
that's why tablets are not really the best type of supplements to take. I always use only capsules because capsules dissolve in your mouth almost.
But do you know what I do with capsules?
They release.
If I don't open them, I bite them to get to perforate them and then I put water in my mouth.
You don't need to, Greg.
No, but you know why?
It dissolves right away.
Wait, tell me if this has happened to any of you guys. Did you ever take capsules and about 15 minutes later you burp and all of a sudden the powder comes out like that?
All the time.
Oh, yeah.
All the time. Yeah, it happens.
And it burns.
You don't drink enough.
You got to drink enough liquid with it. You can't just take a sip of water to swallow it.
But the thing is, if you put powder on top of water, it sits there. So even I'm drinking liquid. All of a sudden I burp like this. So So what I do is I perforate the capsule in my mouth, right? And then I take some like, you know, fluid or water, whatever I'm taking, and just to get it so it's like mud, you know what I'm saying? So when I
take like 30 capsules at a time. If I did that, I'd have a mouthful of cement essentially. Can't do that.
I hate that fucking burping. All of a sudden you're
I've done that. Powder goes flying out of your mouth. It's the craziest thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And if there's people around, they're like, what the fuck was that? And I'm like, holy shit. And then it's burning your throat. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or sometimes you inhale and it goes into your lungs.
Oh, yeah, that's the worst.
Oh my God, that's happened to me too. I took my father to the dentist and I when he was alive, and I remember I burped and that shit came up and it went in my like you just said, it went in my lungs and it was burning the shit out of my throat and my lungs. And I'm in the fucking dentist office and they're like, dude, are you all right? And I'm like pounding down the fluid, but that's not because it's in your lung and shit. It's not, you know, I'm just you know.
Did you ever swallow like a peanut or something like that, or a nut into your lungs? And it could be sometimes like a half hour later, and you'll just all of a sudden it works its way up, and you go and you like cough it up. And
I've had things like that, yeah.
It's irritating as it drive you nuts when it's down there.
I swallowed a bee.
A bee
in a can of Coke.
A lot, George. Yeah.
A can of Coke. In a can of Coke when I was 10 years old.
Oh my God.
Oh, George, he swallowed a bee. It was a yellow jacket, probably.
It's still in me. That's why I got all this energy.
It stung you inside. Holy shit.
What do you think about these guys who inject snake venom to try to give them energy, and it's supposed to be like the fountain of youth, supposedly?
Oh God!
What, in their muscle or in their veins?
Well, they just inject it under the skin, little small amounts, like every day, to like stimulate the immune system.
What snake?
Usually it's cobra venom, you know.
Maybe that's why Larry's badass is that fucking snake he brought to school. That rattlesnake probably bit him a bunch of times. Now he's like, you know, like snapping his neck, like, who wants to fuck with me?
It only bit me once.
I know a guy who inoculates himself every day, and he works milking cobras. He can get bit by a cobra, and literally he'll just sit there for like 45 minutes and let it just the venom do what it wants, and he'll be fine after that. Like he doesn't have to go for anti-venom or anything. He's got enough resistance to it that if the bite's not severe, he can handle it. And
that's crazy.
Yeah.
You guys ever watch? I subscribe to all these fucking. You ever watch the beekeeper guys? Like there's one guy. I forgot his name with the bees, or that girl. They sit there and they get swarms. They'll sit there in a swarm with bare hands, no mask on, nothing. Fucking bees are all over their face. They pick the queen up. They're holding it, showing it to you. And I don't know, dude. I shit my pants with that stuff. Just watching that, I sweat. Did you ever watch that? The barnyard.
I don't know how to. Yeah, I wouldn't be that comfortable.
Dude, Joe Rogan had that girl on, and then there's the bees. Like she talks like that. She's fucking hot as hell, and she's got long fucking hair, and there's bees in her fucking hair and shit. And you know, she's just like, you know, and they hold the bees, they scoop them up right out of the fucking thing, and they're holding big mounds of them, and they throw them. Like I'm like, dude, how do you not get stung? Or like,
I think they're just so calm and how to handle them. They just don't bite them, you know, so they're not nervous, so they're not getting bit.
I shit my pants, Armand. I'm allergic to bees. I shit my pants. It's just a bee in the house.
I can't deal with bugs either.
There's a bee farm around the corner from Dave's house. A big bee farm.
Well, my next door neighbor does bees. There's a lot.
See that right there? That's sick.
Yeah. You remember the guy in the Guinness Book of World Records when we were a kid? You'd open up that Guinness Book of World Records. They had the guy with the bear, the bees. The bear to bees.
But Dave, do you realize if he accidentally smushes a bee, one of them, they all go into like sting mode. I mean, he'd be in serious trouble.
Yeah. You know that if the bees all die, we die. You know that, right?
Oh yeah, man.
Because the bees pollinate everything. You know, that's
dude,
how all crops.
Dave, one time I was walking to Gold's Gym, you know, back in like '81 and stuff, and I was walking by this house. All of a sudden, it was like dark. It's like the sun got eclipsed, you know. And I'm sitting, you know, I had my head down, and I'm walking, looking at, you know, at the pavement and shit. And I look up, and it's a house, and there's a fucking gazillion bees, and they're all swarming, like, you know, right where I was walking. And I was like, holy shit, man. And I fucking ran the fuck out of there because I was afraid I was going to get stung. But I never saw that many bees in my life. There was a patch of like 10 feet of nothing but bees. You know what I'm saying? On a house. Right. And then they were swarming off the house. So the queen must have been like sitting on the house there. There's if you guys want, anybody watching this, watch Yappy, Y-A-P-P-Y, Yappy the Bee Man. Yappy the Bee. Dude, this guy sits there. He has like a love affair with the bees. Where's that sexy queen? There she is. There's my girl. And he reaches in the hive and he takes her out. He's holding her. And he's got bees all over him. And you got these, like, he's in this area and all these black dudes are standing like, get the fuck out of here, you crazy bastard. I was like,
doesn't bother them. There's just that piece, maybe, like all that bees all over them. I don't know. People are weird. So,
oh, yeah. Just like them wilderness dudes. Like I saw the dude today. He got a bug that's this big. And it's got these fucking fangs like that. Do that shit. And I'm like, holy shit. How can you pick that up? You know what I mean? I scream like a girl in a horror movie if I see one of them things in the house. I get psycho, you know?
Which is weird because you like animals. You're not like afraid of anything.
I love animals, but I don't like bugs. I don't like insects. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll throw them things. If I catch a bug, I'll throw it in a turtle tank and watch them go psycho on it.
Well, generally with any animal, if you're calm, then they'll be calm. If you get nervous, they can pick up on that. They can sense it. If you get agitated, then they get agitated as well.
I don't know, man. I'd shit my pants. You get bears and shit like that. You could friggin' I just watched a video where some dude who was the park ranger in Yellowstone Park, and he shot a bear. The bear was coming at him. He emptied the whole can of bear spray. Didn't stop the bear. The bear ate him. You know what I mean?
Really?
But he was being aggressive towards the bear. So
I just saw this guy on a mountain, and the bear was coming up at him. He was like, oh, and then like he was kicking the bear in the face. And he hit him back a couple of times. It was like saw on TikTok a few weeks ago, and then the bear
saw that video. But you know
what? I saw it.
That was a small black bear.
Yeah,
that
small, but still a bear.
Dude. The bear fell off that fucking mountain too. I saw that shit.
Yeah, it fell down a little bit. Yeah,
I think he was Asian, and he was climbing up a mountain, and the bear just came out of nowhere, and you could see the bear was like all hyper. Like when it fell down, it was like it was doing everything it could to get back up at him. But you're right, he kept kicking it in the face. But that wasn't a big bear, bro. There's some fucking monsters out there. There's some monster bears, you know.
It was a small bear, but it's still a freaking bear. Shit.
Oh no, dude, that'll eat you just like any other bear would eat you. You stand no chance.
There's John. John's here. Did you guys ever see the movie The Shining, the original with Jack Nicholson?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, John.
Right. You remember the two girls, the twins that were like supposed to be the dead sisters?
Hello, Danny.
And the one that were in the room.
Come play with us, Danny.
Look at someone. I don't know if someone said it to me or if I just kind of browsed upon it by accident. You got to look at this thing. This is them today. They still look just as creepy. Look.
Oh wow.
They look like little midget creeps, right? Like little creepy midgets. Like.
Yeah, but that's the only movie I think they ever made. Same thing with the boy, that little boy. Yeah, see what he looks like today too. That's the only movie he ever made.
Wasn't that what's his name? Corey? Wasn't Corey Feldman the little
No.
Oh.
Hello, Mrs.
Red rum.
Hello, Mrs. Torrance.
I had nightmares from that movie as a child for years after that movie.
Well, I corrected them, and when the other didn't listen, I corrected her too. Remember the father?
Yeah. I was petrified. When I would see the previews for the movie, like they would play on TV, like for the movie theater, I had nightmares from the previews, you know. And
Delbert Brady, that was the guy's name. Hello, Mr. You're Delbert Brady.
Yeah, Brady was the guy who killed his whole family there. Yeah,
yes.
When
I love that shit. I remember when I was a kid, I used to, I'd go spend, the weekend with your grandparents, and that was always fun, hang out with the grandparents. And I was like 5 or 6 years old, and my grandpa would always sleep on the couch. I would sleep in the bed with my grandma, and she'd always tell me stories to scare me, so I'm staying away from, weird people. So she'd tell me about Jeffrey Dahmer, about cutting people up in the fridge, and I'd go home and tell my mom I was all excited, like I was so into these stories. So she was trying to scare me, but she's like, stop telling Armand that he loves that shit. Like
It's like Greg.
I love it.
Yeah.
Johnny.
Here's Johnny. I love
Jack
that.
Nicholson. Jack Nicholson always played the best lunatics, didn't he?
He is my favorite actor.
Yeah.
Remember that movie he was
The
in?
Cuckoo's Nest. Yeah, this one.
Yeah. Wendy, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm going to bash your fucking brain. I'm going to bash him the fucking.
Yeah, Stanley Kubrick was
Kubrick.
What was that movie
where he the guy that filmed the moon landing? And then he
and Clockwork Orange.
Said?
Clockwork Orange is a movie.
No, Jimmy said that Stanley Kubrick was the one who made the moon landing.
That's what Jimmy says. What was that movie Nicholson did where he played the guy, an obsessive compulsive guy, and he was after this girl who was a waitress, and they went on a trip together. And he recorded the music that had to go with the trip.
As Good as It Gets, or something like that. Was that it?
I thought that was a great movie. He played such a great.
Isn't that what it is? Yeah.
What was it?
As Good as It Gets. Is that the movie?
I think that was it. Yeah.
He was a great actor. He's in a lot of movies, but he's like 90 something, I think, right now.
Him and Pacino are my two favorite actors.
A Few Good Men.
I love Pacino too.
Yeah.
But I don't like De Niro anymore with his movie.
Nope, me neither.
With his he lost me. Still had a kid at 82 to 83 years old. He just had a kid.
What is Pacino? What is wrong with these
I know,
guys?
they're nuts. They're nuts.
Wasn't it a 20-year-old he had a kid with? Or
Yeah, but the thing is, these guys, they don't even, that's why all the kids are drug addicts and fucked up and commit suicide, because they don't even raise their kids. You know what I'm saying? They're not even there. They're not even hands-on parents, a lot of these people.
No, they're just paying the bills.
Celebrities. Right. They get mad. You ever watch Tom Hanks' son when he starts telling you all this shit about Tom Hanks?
What did he say about his father?
He tells how fucked up he is and all this other shit, because you know what it is? I guess, the father's up here. The kid don't really, his big claim to fame is he's the son of this guy. You know what I mean? So he's throwing him under the bus the other day with some of the stuff. You know what I mean? Like, his name is Chet Hanks. Google.
There's another. What's the other one who actually acts? There's another son too that acts. Colin Hanks, right?
Yeah, I don't know. That I don't know. But
Colin
Chet Hanks has got some sour grapes. I can tell you that. There's a lot of those celebrities though. They don't. You know how long it takes to make a movie? You know what I'm saying? I just did that fucking thing for A&E. It took me 12 hours to sit and do basically what's going to, A&E's got commercials, maybe about 45 minutes worth of shit. It took me 12 hours to do that shit. 12 hours. By the time you're done and they feed you bullshit, like you eat, like your sandwiches and stuff, or, but unlike Jay Leno, who really fucking hooked me up. But what I'm saying is you sit back and you're like fucking, you're sweating, you're dying, and you got to retake this. They moved the set here. Oh, we don't like it. We move it here. By the time imagine making a big movie. Those things take like sometimes 8 months, and you're on location. You don't see your kid and shit like that, Right.
Well, I mean, a lot of the top stars can bring their family with them if they want, a lot of times.
I guess if you're a good parent, supposedly Paul Newman was really good, and with his wife, and they were very close. But a lot of these people, that's why you see these movies. Brad Pitt has fallen in love with every one of his leading women. Every one of them had a romance with. Every single one.
You're hanging out all day long, 14 hours, 15 hours a day on set.
Lucky guy, so that's very hard.
For like 8 months. 8 months. After a while, you know your co-star better than you know your own wife.
You have your own trailer, and then you go, and then
you hear the fantasy version of the co-star you're with. You don't see the real person. That takes a lot longer to come out.
You know what I don't understand? Not to get really fucking controversial, say shit that's gonna make people's hat fall off. But like when you get these celebrities, like I adopted a black child and they're from Haiti, or I went to Africa. I got a real black child. You know what I mean? Like, there's black kids in this country that could use a parent. I would adopt a black kid. I don't give a shit about my ex-wife's mulatto. But what I'm saying is these celebrities, they go out and they think like it's almost like political correctness. You know what I mean? I've got 3 children, and
it was fashionable for a while, Greg.
Right.
Angelina got the Asian kid, and then she got the
fashionable.
And then they make them wear dresses
with the Asian baby. And no, you get the white celebrity couple, and they got one Asian baby, a mulatto baby, a black baby, and kangaroo. You know,
I think one of Angelina's children, isn't she the really good-looking one? I think she thinks she's a boy, right?
Right. There's a it
What?
goes place. I think they have a.
Oh,
That's the new thing now. Celebrities all have their kids. Like, look at Charlize Theron. She adopted a black child, I think, from Haiti. And then she was saying we were like the kid was taking a bath. It's a little boy, right? And he's taking a bath. And he said, "Mommy, I think I'm a girl." And she goes, "Oh my God, I got a daughter." Like, you know, like I'm like, you know, she was telling the story, and I'm like, holy fuck, you're sick in the head. You know what I mean?
because they act for a living, Greg. They're not. They're in make-believe world. They're not in the real world.
But I mean, like, you think that she's a, you know, like these people, they don't really mother or father these children. They're, you know, it's almost like, you know, you get a Corvette, you drive it only on Sundays and shit like that, or, you know, and then you put it in the garage, and, you know, when over the winter, you don't take it out, and then spring comes, you drive the Corvette on a Sunday, driving around with the roof down, and you're like, you know, to impress everybody in town. That's what the kids are like. You know what? I think I'll see my kid today. We'll take him out, and, you know, paparazzi will see me walking a kid in the park and maybe getting an ice cream and shit. You know what I'm saying?
They do things for show. I've got friends like that. They have like daughters, and they do, you know, they don't give a shit about them, but they just do stuff for show. Like they'll go put this on Instagram. Like they hang out. Like you don't hardly even see your daughter. You act like you're, you know, you're father of the year. I hate that shit.
Right. Not for nothing. But there's a famous bodybuilder who fucked a maid and had a kid with her. You know, wink, wink, wink.
Who's that, you know, Greg?
His own children were so flabbergasted that the one, who I know, by the way, changed his last name to the mother's last name. Do you remember that? Do you remember that?
Yes.
When Patrick became Patrick Shriver? Do you understand? Because you know, they look at their parents, you know, they come across as like, you know, I'm a great father.
Greg,
Greg,
he changed his name, Patrick?
No, no, he's still Patrick Schwarzenegger, but when it first happened, he came out and he went on Twitter. He became Patrick. Google it right now.
I didn't know that.
Patrick changed his name, and then you know he changed it back. I don't think he legally changed it. I think he said, "You know what? Call me Patrick Shriver. Fuck this." He was very upset.
He was just mad. He was just mad at his father.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, wouldn't you be if the little boy you've been playing with, your next door neighbor for all these years?
I would be more mad at the fact that my father was 6-time Mr. Olympia and I'm a fat pig.
No, Patrick. Dude, I know Patrick.
No, that's the other son, John.
Oh, the other son. Yeah, I saw him, but
his other son was fat, but he lost weight. The other son.
What, the one kid? Marie's kids?
No,
he's got two boys and a daughter.
Yeah, they were. Remember, they were fit when we.
No, one was heavy, and the other
was a little fat fuck.
I thought he was a little skinny kid when
Patrick was in shape. Patrick was the one I interviewed.
He even had memes on this. He said, "This is what happens when you're raised by your mother, and this is what happens when you're raised by your father." And Joseph,
but the heavy one, John, lost a lot of weight. He's in good shape now.
Dave, I think he was on the spectrum.
Well, that's good. I'm glad he did.
I think he was on the spectrum, if you know what I mean. Hey, Dave. Dude, I know Patrick. Patrick's 6'3". He's a fucking good-looking kid.
He is?
He's got abs. I know, bro. He kissed my girlfriend for her. I got him.
How many sons does he have?
Two. Well, three.
Oh, three.
The other one.
So there's another Shriver son.
No, there's two.
No. The other one's Joseph, Diana.
Right.
Wait. All right. Maria Shriver and Arnold have how many kids?
4.
Three. Oh, 4?
There's 2 girls and 2 boys.
Oh, 2 girls? Okay.
Okay, and who are the 2 boys?
Patrick and the other one.
I forgot this brother's name.
And the brother, not Patrick, but the brother was the fat one.
Right.
Yes, not Patrick, the brother.
All right.
You know what's funny? I think the chubby one, I've seen him in person when he was a little boy, but I think he's like smaller too. Like Patrick's 6'3". He's a big kid.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, that's Arnold.
He's way taller than Arnold.
Well, Arnold was 6'2" at one point.
Until he shrunk.
Yeah, but you know what's funny?
Here's Angelina Jolie's the daughter who was originally they thought she was a boy because she was dressing like a boy. She had boys' haircuts. Now she's older and she's turned back into a girl again, and she's pretty good. She's pretty hot, you know.
Yeah, she was a tomboy. We called her a tomboy growing up. That's it. Yeah.
You know, it was my mother was telling me this the other day. She said, you know, when I was
look what she looked like when she was younger.
Children, she said if the boy said I think I'm a girl, the parents' reaction was no, you're not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now
exactly.
it's gender affirming drugs are needed now. And
well, John, a lot of times
it's
a stage they go through too. Where they just want to be tomboys and play sports and shit like that, and then they outgrow it.
Well,
you don't
Joe
give
Rogan
hormones.
said it. Joe Rogan said when he was a little boy, he would play with the neighbor, and she was a girl, and sometimes he would play with her Barbie dolls. You know what I mean? Like he would hey, I'm Barbie. You know what I mean? And then you get G.I. Joe. Oh,
That doesn't mean he's gay. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he said.
No, it's not. It's the parents' reaction.
Yeah,
the parents' reaction should be, no, you're not. Snap out of it.
Yeah.
And
Tsunami.
Right. Whereas, they celebrate it now. Well, it's almost like, thank God my child is pansexual. Now I can post it on Instagram.
But what I want to know is what makes you okay? You say you're a girl. How? What makes you a girl? How? Well, I like girl things. That doesn't mean anything. That means nothing. That means fucking nothing. A little boy can try on his mom's shoes. He doesn't know. It's just mom. You know what I mean? He doesn't. He doesn't know what he's doing. It doesn't mean that he wants to dress like a girl. He'll sit there and wear dad.
Greg, you know that when that boy hits puberty and testosterone starts pulsing through his body, his whole brain changes because now he goes from wanting to hang out, play with his boyfriends and hates girls. Now all of a sudden, all he wants to do is hang out with girls.
Penis is going to lead him there.
He's going to be like, remember the Rascals, the He-Man woman haters?
Oh, the He-Man
woman haters club.
Yeah.
Wait, listen.
They hated women. Then all of a sudden one of them liked them, and then they realized.
Right, darling.
What about Al Bundy?
Yeah.
What about Al Bundy with the yes ma'am or no ma'am club? Remember that? No ma'am. We don't take no shit. But listen, I fucking lost my whole train of thought, man. I forgot what I was gonna say.
Don't stop talking. That's why.
even when I was
how your brain can keep up with the mouth.
You can't get a word in today.
You
must be on tons of Excedrin today.
I said that last week and he denied it. I've refused to believe it. Greg is jacked up on something because if you go back and look,
you must be on Adderall.
Your mouth is way out of control right now. Last week, this week,
naturally
Larry can't get a word in edgewise.
Nobody can get a word in edgewise. If you do your own, you're talking over him.
Larry gets a 20-minute segment. I need to get a 20-minute segment, and Greg's on mute for 20 minutes.
But I'm not on Adderall. I'm not on anything. I would only take something like that if I was fucking going to work out, and a crumb because I'm naturally hyper.
You took a ton of pre-workouts back in the day.
Hold on. Did you guys see this guy? He's a hiking expert or something like that. And he was using a hiking app, and he's a scientist, the guy. And he fell 500 feet to his death off the edge of a cliff because the app was wrong.
He didn't mean. Oh my God!
It's not funny, but it's
not funny, but it's terrible.
No, it kind of is funny because it's anytime somebody wins the Darwin Awards, it's funny. He closed his eyes and was walking in the dark. How do you fall 500 feet following an app?
Went down 150 meters, 492 feet to his death. What was he up? What do you have? A bathroom up there? What is that little thing up there? He was a decorated researcher at Moscow Institute of Physics and Technology in Moscow.
Man. And he's stupid.
A lot of smart people do that shit and die.
Well, he doesn't have common sense.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, I mean,
well, I guess he trusted the app. I don't know.
But wait a minute.
Was he walking in the dark? I mean, how the hell do you fall down a 500-foot pole?
All right, I'm reading it. The hiking app allegedly led him over the edge of a cliff in Germany. The freak plunge occurred on August 12th while the man, Dr. Dmitry Fedinin, 34, who hails from Russia but lives in the North Rhine, Westphalia, was hiking in the picturesque Alps National Park, which is known for its breathtaking views and peaks up to 9,000 feet tall. He was reportedly traveling alone at the time, was using a navigation app to descend down, but was directed along a route with no paths. Tragedy struck after the alpinist lost his footing on a rocky ledge, fatally plummeted hundreds of feet. So I guess it was a dangerous descent he was taking.
How does that app know, like, way out there in the wilderness, too? Like, what you're
doing? John's a hiking expert.
Clearly, it doesn't know.
Yeah, I don't understand how, like, way out in the wilderness, could detect,
If the hiking app, I would assume that some other hikers, built the app based on their experience hiking all these different mountains, right? I mean, John,
except for this particular spot.
No,
but that's at night. He's doing it at night. Why would you do it in the middle of the night?
Yeah,
First of all, you would go there during the day and do a trial run,
or at least go there in the day
other
so you
people.
can see over the edge.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but
I think they want to know, was he a good guy though?
He was a good guy. He wasn't smart, but he was good.
I mean, I surf new spots all the time with rocks and cliffs and sharks and stuff, and before I do it, I talk to the locals. I find out where it is. I mean, I'm not gonna go and buy an app. I'm not gonna look at an app and say, "Oh, this app tells me to paddle out this way."
This guy was a decorated scientist. I mean, who won all these awards.
He's not a mountain climber.
You think this was foul play? I mean, it sounds like this guy doesn't seem like a dummy who would,
Yeah, I think Leo Rex pushed him. Leo Rex is ghost.
A lot of these techies put so much faith in the technology that they lose common sense.
I just think, what it is? Because the GPS scans the Alp. Like GPS up there, that shit scans the whole, like they can tell you where the deepest part of the ocean, and there's a mountain in the ocean and this and that. They know. So I think I don't know, maybe it's a bad scan.
Well, that's happening to us right now. I mean, think about it. When I was growing up, there was no GPS. You didn't have a cell phone.
Right.
And I used a Thomas guide, and I found my way all over Southern California, driving as a door-to-door salesperson. And I knew every street and everywhere. Now I use the GPS, and now because I got used to using the GPS, I don't know where anything is.
Larry, it's like phone numbers. I used to know everybody's phone number in my head. Now I got my phone. I don't know anybody's phone number.
It made us stupid.
Yeah, you get used to it.
It made us dumber.
You get dependent on your device.
John, that's so true. I can't tell you how many times somebody be like, what's your daughter's number? And I'm like, oh, fuck, I don't know. I got to look in the phone to get it.
Yeah.
I don't even know my own kids.
I don't even know my wife's number.
Because
I drive to my massage therapist. I've been going to him for less than a year every week. And I have to use a GPS every single time because I can't remember how to, it's not an easy drive. Like it's a little complicated out there, but it's, I'll take a wrong street there. Like shit, I'm late. And it made us dumb.
My friend works for the Secret Service, and he told me back in the 90s, don't use Easy Pass. He said, I'll never use an Easy Pass because they can track you with an Easy Pass. You know what I mean?
If you're selling drugs, it's probably not a good idea.
Yeah, if you're doing criminal activity.
Yeah, he's not. Matter of fact, it's funny you say that because I had him on my website, picture of him and I fucking around. He had his arm around me like he was going to, like wrestling me. And he was told, don't go on that guy's website. Get your picture taken off there.
Who was who?
My friend. He's still with the Secret Service. He started with Bill Clinton, and he was on my website. I had pictures, and me in the gym and fucking around and shit. And it was a picture of him. He had me in a headlock, making he was punching me, and we were just fooling around. And the Secret Service told him, don't get your pictures off that guy's website.
But why?
Because I was in trouble. You know what I mean? It was all over the news and shit that I was in trouble. And it's like, here I am hanging out with he's one of my best friends to this day, but he's still with the Secret Service. He's still with the Secret Service. But I'm saying they told him, you got to get this back in the 90s, we took this picture. And in 2000, when I got arrested, they told him, get off that guy's website. Like, they told him.
When I was on federal probation, I had a training client who was a Oxnard PD detective. And one day I was at Venice Beach at a bodybuilding contest, and I was backstage where it's the weightlifting area where people warm up. And someone took a picture of me and a guy talking. And this guy sent me a message with a picture. He says, this guy? And I'm like, he's an old acquaintance. I don't know him anymore. I don't talk to him. But he was somebody who was involved in my case. So they were like following me around, like photographing me and shit.
Oh, I had that.
Hey,
yeah,
what
that's
do
a
you think
very
about
unnerving feeling when you're sitting
Yeah.
down with the FBI and then they pull out this envelope and they start showing you pictures
Yeah.
of you and other people.
Yeah,
and what
fuck them.
It's
Seriously.
like, whoa.
Seriously. Well, I'm
Hey,
not
Greg,
kidding. I mean, look, they do the same. I mean, come on.
But like Larry and
selling drugs.
all y'all that sold gear, like Larry, when you were doing like you at your highest like gear, and like Greg too, did you feel like you were even doing something wrong?
No. Nope.
That's it's
you know
silly,
why?
right?
I had state troopers.
I
had state troopers coming in the gym. I was shooting them in the back. They come in, they fuck with their, with their outfits on, parked out in front. They go in the back because a lot of these guys can't shoot themselves. You know that story too, right? A lot of guys, so I got to do the fuck. I shoot, but they go in the back, drop their fucking state trooper pants. I shoot them in the ass, and they leave. So I figured, dude, I got cops coming to me, bro. I'm like, I thought I was Teflon.
This is probably sounds like justification, and maybe it is, but after Dr. Cohen went down and they took out Quality Vet and Dankel and all that, and then everything was bogus and there was just fake gear and there was nothing good to get. I went down there and started my lab because I was pissed. We couldn't get anything real. Everything was fake. And they took out all the good quality gear that was coming out of Mexico at that time. So in my head, I justified it that like I was like on some kind of cause,
Larry,
you
I
know
did
the guy who
exact
made
same
Dankel?
thing. I did exactly the same
Dr.
thing.
Dr.
Everything
Cohen,
was all fake. And I figured I'm doing these guys a service by providing a line of gear that's real.
Yeah, you're not killing anybody. You I mean, it's free market.
If anything, you're saving people problems.
We're not free.
The shit they were buying down there was dirty. It was shitty.
Dude, when I got arraigned, and the first they took, it was $250,000 bail. Then they pulled it back, and I had no bail. And I said for steroids, and the judge said, if I were you, I wouldn't say another word. I said, but it's fucking steroids. I was like freaking out because everybody else that I knew that got in trouble for steroids was out the next day. You know what I'm saying? And now they pulled my bail back. And no bail.
A lot of normal people's mentality, it's like the same thing as crack or heroin. It's like you're a horrible person. You cheat. You do steroids. Your ethics. Your morals. It's crazy how people think.
When I got out on federal probation, after my case was all said and done, I used to have to report to this probation officer. And at the time, I had reopened my gym and I was doing stuff. And my probation officer said to me one day, "We don't even know what to do with you. We never had a person like you." And because I wasn't like their normal criminal that was like running around still like, getting into drugs and problems and whatever. They didn't even think they looked at my case and they're like, steroids? They thought it was a joke.
Larry, they put me in a drug program and I was the only guy in there for steroids. Everybody else was like heroin addicts and fucking meth addicts. And they're sitting there like this. And I'm like, but I did steroids. And the other fucking like momos like, yeah, but that's a drug and you were addicted. You know what I mean? I was like, holy shit. I'm nothing like you fucking people. Hey, nobody's carjacking cars. Nobody's robbing houses or doing shit like that to support their steroid habit.
You're not a menace to society.
Who takes steroids? Steroids are a performance enhancer. Junkies don't take steroids. Fucking athletes take steroids. What I'm saying is like, it's a performance enhancer. Dude, let me tell you something. There's one performance enhancer, which you guys accuse me of, caffeine. If you took that out of society, the whole world would stop functioning.
Well, how about this? You can performance enhance on Viagra, and that's legal.
Oh yeah, man.
Everybody has that.
I had a bottle of 1,000 Viagras, Larry. 1,000 Viagras.
This is the story 400 times, Greg. Go ahead.
The cops took it and they didn't fucking.
It's the great every time.
The story as many times as
it's great every time. Love it. It's the best every.
Hold on, I got to ask you guys something.
It's got a 1-to-1 ratio.
Ronda Rousey, who's in the WWE now, which I thought was a brilliant move on her part to go to the WWE. She's making good money and she's doing it. Now she's leaving supposedly she's going to leave the WWE to go back to MMA fighting. What's wrong with her? Are these people deluded?
She's already gotten knocked out. She's gotten knocked out.
Hold on. These fighters are more delusional than the bodybuilders who would think at 50 years old they're going to make a comeback and win the Olympia. Right. You know what I mean?
Well, they become irrelevant in their particular thing that they're doing, and she's not getting popularity or fame anymore. So now
she's famous in the WWE. They love her in the WWE.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
whatever,
it's
for whatever
not
reason,
the same thrill that she first, fell in love with.
she's not getting the attention.
37. She can't. She didn't win the last time she fought.
Yeah,
She's not
Dave,
going to
It's
win.
not the age, Dave. It's the fact that she's been banged. She's had so many fights and gotten so banged up, and she's gotten knocked out. Once you get knocked out, there's a little. You're prone to get knocked out.
It's not just that, George. She fought when the girls who were just starting out. She started out. Do you understand?
These girls are on a whole other level now.
She would tap out the girls, because she was a good wrestler,
Right. She used to do judo. But the thing is, today, these girls will pound the shit out of her.
They're all well-rounded.
Yeah, these girls are they're like, I hate to say it, but they fight like men. I mean, they're brutal. I mean,
oh, dude, there's girls that knock us all out. Believe me.
But
they'll destroy her.
Dude, my daughter could knock
when you're at that, she's so banged up.
But
someone who's 45 or 50 who never fought and trains can go in and start fighting. Maybe not on a pro level, but I'm saying they can go in and have fights because they're not banged up.
But George, not only is she banged up, but
that's what I'm saying.
Her skill level was a begin. Remember, that was the beginning of female fighting. Those girls today, none of those girls today, even Amanda Nunes got knocked out.
Yeah, she's not. They're training, and not only that, the girls are training against guys. So they have all the guy coaches. But in my gym, they have some of the UFC girls. They got the jiu-jitsu guys. The guys are training with them that are the same weight.
My daughter fights in the octagon. My daughter's right now. My daughter's going.
John, did you know that Greg's daughter was a fighter?
I had no idea.
Oh my God!
Greg, I told you about.
I heard this story.
This is a revelation. I've never heard of this before. I can't believe Greg has been around this long, and we're just finding out now that his daughter fights MMA. I am shocked.
Dave, you want to send your picture?
Don't you think they're going to give Ronda Rousey some easy fights just so that she can not get killed?
She's going to want to fight for the title.
I don't think they even want her back. She's not. First of all, she's not nice. She's not a nice person. She's an nasty bitch.
Coaches wouldn't allow that, Larry.
Even when she loses, she's a sore loser.
Yeah.
I think that.
But they give her 5 or 6 warm-up fights. And
they won't give her any warm-up fights because she's got to fight for big money. That's the only way she's going to fight. Right. She's a champion.
Girls today will run.
What if she gets her ass kicked by some journeyman, journeywoman?
She's going to.
So let's say this. Let's say she does
a lower level girl. It's like that girl's going to be so hungry to just rip her apart.
Yeah.
And she's
a lower level girl
injuries.
is ahead of where she was when she was a champion, though. These girls today, there's 21-year-old girls who knock out guys. I mean,
let me ask you this question: would you take a fight knowing you're going to get your ass kicked if they're going to pay you a few $1 million?
Oh, hell yeah.
I would, but
because you're broke.
Greg would blow you for that. He wouldn't have to fight him. He would blow you.
You're broke, Greg. Ronda Rousey's got money. She's being paid by the WWE very well, so she doesn't need the money.
No, the only thing is
the manager who's ever coaching them. Look, I have the guy that sets up people with fights at all these gyms. They're not going to set up someone with a fight unless they know their fighter is evenly matched. They won't do it. They're not going to do it.
Yeah, her name is so big.
What's the angle here, George? Why
is she doing that? She wants, I guess, because she wants to get back into it, or it's going to be a big payday. I don't know.
Right, don't you think the coaches are telling her you really can't? Yes, beat these girls?
Well, then it's up to. I mean,
no.
I think they're backing down, and she wants to do it, and that's a payday for them. They're getting paid well by her.
Promoters definitely want to see her fight, right?
They want to take her money, and
that's a big gate. That's a big gate. Her name alone will be huge, but. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think she's going to win. I can't imagine unless she's really come up with her skills. And you can't do that kind of.
There's she can't win. It doesn't. It's a no-win situation.
I agree, but
no matter anyway. And a regular, real coach would tell her, "Don't do it," and I'm not training you for it.
But her name
That's
is.
What you're too old. Forget it. You're too banged up. Stay with the WWE.
But the name is big. It's almost like a
I'll give you $1 million to train me. You'll do it.
No. How about no? How about no? I'm not driven by money.
So George, if you won't do it for the $1 million, I'll do it for the $1 million.
Me
Go ahead.
too.
I'll do it for 500 grand.
I would say,
I'll
we could get
I
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know
no, it's her, right.
We know you're going to get
Trainers
your
and
ass
promoters
kicked, but
wanted to
that's
fight,
part of the
Wait,
deal.
can I say something? Listen to me, George. What you don't understand, it's like there's doctors out there that if you said to them, look, can you do me a favor? I can't stand my left arm. Can you cut it off? They would do it. I mean, there's fucking people.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is there's trainers who would be like, look, this is going to be a payday for me. There's going to be a huge payday for her. Ronda Rousey comes back to UFC. People are going to be all amped about that. And even though she's going to get run over by a freight train, the coach is going to make money.
Do you remember when Marvin Hagler was kicking everyone's ass?
Of course.
And no one could beat him. And
Nobody.
Sugar Ray Leonard was in the booth doing the commentaries for his fight. He's like, the only guy who could beat him is me. And he had already been retired, like several times already. He was done. He wasn't even that young anymore. And they're like, you're out of your mind. He goes, I'm going to fight him. He goes, I can beat him. And people thought he was nuts. They thought that Hagler was going to crucify him. And Leonard beat him, albeit controversially. He beat
But how
him,
many years was that? This is not box. This is
What about our sport?
Maybe she's been training secretly, and she's good.
Oh, she's still. I'm sure. Look, Dave. First of all, the WWE, you have to be super athletic to do that. Right. Anyway, I mean, you got to be like a UFC fighter pretty much. Anyway, right. Without actually physically, but you got to be able to jump.
George, MMA while she's doing
George,
that.
The problem is when you fight or when you perform WWE, you're kind of like untraining yourself to fight because it's choreographed.
You do both.
Yeah. So you do that long enough, you kind of lose an edge. And I've talked to guys about this. There's an edge that you lose because you're not really fighting. So. I'm agreeing with you.
John, what I meant is
this is what Dana White said.
Not the fighting
Dana
part.
White, Dana White says he's the UFC president. He says there's no shot, says White. She's accomplished everything she set out to do. So he doesn't think she's going to be competing.
What about our sport? What about Flex Wheeler coming back? You think he's one of the greatest bodybuilders to ever live? Genetically gifted, superior genetics.
Right, but he's trying to come back at 50, not at like
I know,
30,
but what I'm saying is that to me, it's the same thing. Stay a legend. Do you understand?
Right. Oh, I agree with you. I agree.
Be a legend.
Your time is over. The door is closed.
Ronda,
all the young kids are partying. We can't go in and party with them no more. We could just look at from far away and say that.
Foreman came back in his 40s. You know what I mean? You can't do that.
Foreman, hold on. Foreman didn't get banged up, though. Foreman.
She thinks she can do it again.
No, but wait, would you guys? John Romano hit the nail on the head. She's busy training for WWE. She's not doing the jiu-jitsu, and you can't do both. It's impossible.
Two different mindsets.
You can't do right now. She's focusing on jumping off ropes and doing somersaults and fucking shit, what you do for the WWE. She's not. There's no way she's doing to be in the UFC. You got to have full time. It's like being in any other sport. You got to dedicate yourself
6 hours a day. 6 hours a day.
And John, that's what John was trying to say. She's so used to doing WWE stuff. And that's what she's training. You don't just jump right back. Well, I haven't really had a bout in many years. I haven't done any MMA. I haven't done judo. I haven't boxed. I haven't done any of that shit. I haven't done any Muay Thai. So now she thinks she's just going to jump back, pick it up like where she was left off. And that
she's not like
trying to say.
She's not a naturally like lean looking person. She looks like she's got some body fat on her that she'd have to drop too.
Yeah.
Well, the guys drop weight. Everybody drops weight like a wrestler. They drop a lot of these people.
She
30,
never really
40.
had a hard body. If I was a betting man, I'd say she probably never took any performance enhancing drugs. I don't think she doesn't look it.
But the thing is, she hasn't trained that way. You can't.
Those other girls do, John.
Oh yes.
You see those other girls? They're like
she might be trained. She might be trained, Dave. She may be training though on this. I mean, they have. There is downtime.
Her husband. What's her husband's name? Ex UFC guy.
Oh, I forget.
Oh, she's married to an MMA guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they probably still train. Look,
is it Tim
they
Silva?
Still train. I bet you they still train.
No, I don't think
you guys know who Steffi Cohen is, right?
The tennis player?
No, Steffi Cohen. She was a world champion powerlifter. Now she's gone to fight.
Oh, she did. I didn't know that.
Dude, my girl's Thug Rose. I love Thug Rose, baby.
Do you remember when Batista did his MMA fight?
Yeah.
It was
before
bad.
the
He couldn't
Momo.
fight. He won. I think he won, right? But it was not pretty.
Oh, he fought a Momo too, and the guy was
Yeah,
around a
they
little
put him
bit.
with a horrible, like that guy, I think.
Stay
They
in your
kept
lane,
dropping
man.
his hands the whole time. He couldn't keep. Did y'all know Batista?
I saw it. He fought a guy who was smaller than him and everything else, and the guy was doing pretty good, not for nothing. You know what I mean?
The guy was a seasoned MMA fighter. He's been fighting.
But he's like, he's Bush League MMA. Like
I get it, Greg. But he's still
a really low level guy.
But what Armand's trying to say is, Batista as a WWF world champion, badass, I'll fucking rip out your neck and shit down the hole. You know what I mean? Like that kind of guy. And now you jump in MMA and you're fighting some like club fighter like Rocky. You know what I mean? And he's smacking you around. You finally get him. But it wasn't easy. At the end of the fight, Batista was like,
he was gassed, and
Am I right or wrong, Armand? Right? He was gassed, right?
Yeah, he was gassed. I mean, he barely made it.
He probably didn't. He didn't train enough.
Can you imagine before the season guy and you're gassed like that? Forget it. I think Ronda Rousey's making a mistake of her life.
Yeah, the skill set's so much higher now than it was
That's
before.
what I'm talking about.
So much higher. Because they're also
probably get injured in training camp, and it'll just never happen anyway. She'll keep getting injured. And
well, according to
maybe she'll just get her name back.
Dana White's like it ain't happening. She'll have to go in Bellator or some other fucking lower level.
Yeah.
But the UFC,
like I said, see what I was saying. He doesn't want. He's not gonna.
He don't want to see her get destroyed like that. Yeah.
Dude, there's young girls coming.
He cares about her health. Yeah.
They're monsters, bro. They can fight a guy and knock a dude. I see it all the time on the internet. You know what I'm saying? My daughter could probably kick my ass.
Not if you Greg. Not if you started training.
No, well, I'm only kidding. I'm 100 pounds heavier than her.
Greg, one punch with those would be lights out.
Yeah, I'm not gonna punch.
One punch, one kick.
She's my daughter. I'm not gonna punch her.
Of course, I mean,
she hits hard.
No, of course, yeah. Girl,
you not to change the subject, but I'm going to change the subject. You know how like people are making fun of Elon Musk for spending $45 million on Twitter, which is now, by the way, called X. Yeah. Well, it's funny because there's a new article came out here about evaluating. Did you see what they're evaluating SpaceX at? SpaceX, which is Elon Musk's company, that puts the rockets into space. They're renewable, and it'll put satellites into orbit. Yeah. They value his company at $150 billion, and he owns 44% of that. So I don't think he's hurting for money.
No, he didn't care about money.
He didn't use his own money anyway for Twitter.
He outright said that he didn't care if he lost money. He was doing it for the principle of it.
Yeah, I love that. Don't you love that attitude about him?
But what's really funny is once he had control of the company, he was able to get rid of 80% of the employees because they were all doing nothing.
It did nothing all day long, but
zero.
They
so
took videos.
The company never turned a profit.
Look at me get my cappuccino.
History, it's going to turn a profit. The fact that it turns a profit increases its valuation in the market. He's going to turn around and sell it for probably twice what he paid for it.
I don't think he'll sell it, John. I think he's going to keep it. I think
he'll keep it too.
I think it's like almost like having
in terms of valuation.
Right. Some people buy like Picasso paintings. He buys social media networks.
But it was free speech. It was because of free. He realizes to use your thinking cap. Free speech is going to help him in the long run. Not censoring people.
It's certainly helping a lot of the candidates in the presidential elections coming up. Because now guys like Robert Kennedy can talk on there. Guys like Tucker Carlson put their TV show on there. I mean, it's better than YouTube because YouTube censors a lot of stuff. We know that. I mean, we get a lot of stuff demonetized, and we're not even talking about anything serious. No one even cares about us. So they deplatform people all the time on YouTube, and now you got these guys like Tucker going over to Twitter or X, whatever he's called.
Or Hitch. What about Hitch, Dave?
Why did you change? Yeah, Hitch is not as popular as Twitter. Why do you think he changed the name, John?
I don't know. Probably to get rid of the bad stigma that attached to it.
I don't think so. But how could you change the name of something that's so iconic?
He's into strange names. Look at his kids.
Yeah, they have rules. What is like? What are their names again?
I don't even know.
Pull it up. They're weird. It's something.
I want to see him have to fight against Zuckerberg.
Something scientific, right? Their names or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
Maybe he feels like rebranding. It's going to give it some new character or something.
A new image, new blood. You know, new. It has Twitter had, you know, through all of the censorship and the lying and the election interference, it developed a really terrible name and a terrible.
They should have called for twits. So, it was for twits.
Well, now you got Trump's, you got his Truth Social, and you got X, and that's double the amount of non-bias. Well, I guess you can't say truth. Well, you know, free speech platforms that we had. So, you know, before we had no free speech platforms. Now we have two. Right. So
yeah, who's checking? I mean, how many lies are on the internet anyway? No one checks. If I say, hey, this guy stole something from me, nobody's checking it out.
You know, George, you make a good point there because, you know, like Greg always says, look it up, Google it. You know, just because you Google it doesn't mean you're getting the truth.
No.
You know?
I want to ask you guys a question. I was looking stuff up on those enhanced games, and the original drug doping thing that they were using way back in the day, they were using strychnine for long distance running.
Nice.
Strychnine. And that was one of the original doping things. Strychnine is rat poison, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
So how does that help you for long distance running?
It might thin the blood or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like Coumadin. You know, Coumadin is rat poison. If you give the whole idea is a rat takes in Coumadin and its whole inside, like the heart of the rat and its insides bleed to death. Believe it or not, that's the Coumadin.
Coumadin's a blood thinner,
right? But that's what I'm saying. Coumadin could do that to a human too. Too much of it. But Coumadin it's. I think that's the whole thing with strychnine. I think strychnine it might do something by thinning the blood as well. I'm not sure about that, but I know that's why rat poison today, they use Coumadin in rat poison because the rat will fucking bleed out inside internally.
Oh.
Again, Google it.
Do you remember the movie Ben?
So now long distance people use EPO, which makes your blood thicker. So if you want thinner blood, how does that work?
Right.
Maybe it's an ancillary drug to balance out the EPO. You know,
I would never fuck with
balance
blood.
out the test.
Don't fuck with your blood. That's crazy shit, man. You don't need it
to. It allows neurons to fire and pass signals along even when neurotransmitter levels are low. So I guess it gives people more endurance. It's like taking like Adderall almost, you know.
Probably, yeah.
What it allows your body to maintain the electrolytes without losing them?
No, not electrolytes. Neurotransmitters.
No, I know neurotransmitters.
Nerves to talk to each other and to talk to the muscles.
But don't electrolytes have? But Dave, don't also electric the word electrolytes have to do with neurotransmitters as well?
No.
Electrolytes. When your electrolytes are low, the muscle.
No, totally different. That's the brain.
You need electrolytes for muscle contraction, but you don't need. But if the nerves can't, you know how when you overtrain, a lot of people don't realize this. That whole idea of overtrain. I'm sorry, I left the camera on John. I didn't even realize it.
Thank you.
The whole idea behind overtraining is that it's not that the muscle can't recover. It's that the nerves can't talk to the muscles anymore because there's something called neurotransmitters that allow the muscle and the nerve to talk to each other, just like the nerves talk to each other with the neurotransmitters. So they're not touching the nerves. There's a space. It's called the synapse. In that space, the neurotransmitters are released, whether it be acetylcholine or norepinephrine or epinephrine,
or
dopamine, GABA, whatever. So
yeah, that's right.
If they're missing and because you've depleted too much of them because you've overworked out and you don't rest enough, they don't talk to each other. So your performance decreases. So anything that increases these neurotransmitters can act like a performance enhancement. And runners are notoriously overtrained, right? Because they never take days off. They run every single day. I used to be one. 10 miles a day. You know, eventually you start to deplete neurotransmitters, and this supposedly strychnine, from what I read on the quick Google search I did, it can enhance prevent the neurotransmitters from running out. So,
yeah, there's a thing in powerlifting when you do too much max effort for too many weeks in a row, when you're getting ready for a powerlifting meet, you can what they call fry your central nervous system, where you just literally a weight that you used to be able to rep out, you can't even lift for a single rep. And it's not that the muscles are weaker, your brain is fried. It can't
overtraining. You've exhausted the neurotransmitters.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what's happened. And that's why it's important to rest. The only thing that restores neurotransmitters is sleep. So if you're not sleeping enough, a lot of times you have exhaustion of those neurotransmitters as well. Also, a lot of the neurotransmitters are produced in your gut. A lot of people don't realize this. So if your gut is messed up, or you have leaky gut, or you have like bad colitis or something like that, it can affect your mental state. You might get depressed because a lot of your serotonin is produced in the gut area. So that's another reason why you want to take your probiotics. You want to take your fiber supplement. You want to keep that gut really, really healthy. And they're finding now that the gut health is linked to almost every disease in the body now that they can attach it to, because so much is being done. The immune system also is in the gut. And that's why if you have a toxic gut, your immune system sucks as well. So that's the future.
I got a question, Dave. So when I'm training like over 2 hours, really super intense, doing all this jumps and and jiu-jitsu and training, because sometimes I'll train 4 hours in a day. I'll do my MMA training for 2 hours. Then I go at Adam's new gym and do all this athletic type of training. And my abs start to flex uncontrollably.
That's electrolytes. That's electrolytes.
Right.
Well, that means you're going to die soon.
Yeah,
that's because you've sweated out too much sodium potassium.
Idiots, you momos watching this shit. Don't be taking those strychnine thinking that you're gonna fucking.
So how much,
Greg? But just in the same light, that's why a lot of people have been asking me, over the last couple of years, when are you going to come out with new species supplements? And I always say when I have a new wave of something that's going to revolutionize what I already have, and because probiotics, and the repopulation of the good bacteria in your colon, in your small intestine is so important, we're coming out with two products that are going to be really well fortified with probiotics, because gut health is so important. And that's why our fiber supplement, Fiberlize, is the best selling product that I produce. And there's a reason. People feel better when they take it. And
who's going to buy fiber?
I could tell you,
I buy fiber. There's no science.
I started a new probiotic. It's a powder supplement,
right?
And I started taking it several times a day, by maybe 4 months ago,
right?
And it for sure definitely makes a difference.
Oh, for you especially, because you have colitis.
Crohn's,
Crohn's.
It's by BioEdge. It's a little powder, and I
usually recommend Natren, natren.com. They have really good probiotics on there.
Well, whatever this stuff is, it works. It's amazing. My digestion is so much better when I take this, and when I ran out of it for a few days, it was a huge difference.
Right, but you know what, Larry? What you should be able to do is, and that's why it's important to do both. And I know you have the Crohn's, so you have to be careful with fiber. But if you take fiber, like my Fiberlize, with the probiotics, the bacteria use the fiber as a fuel source. So they ferment it. So once you repopulate your gut with the good bacteria, then you want to feed those bacteria. So you don't have to keep retaking the probiotics all the time. You should be able to grow your own bacteria in your gut at some point once you repopulate enough. Now, you had obviously a lot of damage done to your gut, so it's going to take a little longer than a normal person, but a normal person could take a week's worth of probiotics and then just stay on a good fiber supplement like Fiberlize, and then they don't have to do anything else. It'll self-propagate.
Yeah, Dave, I don't have a colon, so
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Too much fiber will
it'll push it through too fast. I know. Yeah. So, but someone like you still have probiotics that are going to populate the small intestine, which is important too.
But Dave, I do eat that. That cereal that your wife.
The prebiotics are the fiber, John.
I thought prebiotics are like the food for the probiotics.
Right, that's fiber. Soluble fiber is a prebiotic.
Fiber? Oh, okay.
Yes.
That cereal that you eat, that keto cereal that your wife likes, I get that from Costco.
Right.
That stuff is amazing.
Which one? My daughter. I have this keto right here. My girlfriend eats this one.
No. This is it's made out of pea
protein.
That's
good. That tastes delicious, Greg. I love that one. But I read somewhere that the there's a lot of corn oils in there and stuff like that might be a little pro-inflammatory. Probably not good for someone like Larry's gut.
This one's made out of pea protein, and literally I can eat that with no digestive issues, nothing.
Yeah.
What's the name? What does it look like? What's the name of it though?
Forget what it's called.
It's you just mentioned it. I don't know. I should know.
I can't remember.
I eat it all the time.
Was it the chocolate one you're talking about?
No, it's cinnamon flavor. Keto.
Maybe. Yeah, I can't
Keto
remember.
Crunch or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember.
Dave, if you're like my iron has always been really high, and then this last month with blood work, it was super low for some reason, and that's odd for men. Right?
Yeah, I know you showed me that. I don't know. Yeah, I couldn't figure that out because men usually have very, very high iron because we don't menstruate. The only way you would lose iron, like if someone like Larry, had
some men menstruate.
What about ulcers? Like ulcers?
Just kidding, right, George?
Ulcers, but even like if you had like sometimes you have like hemorrhoids, you could lose some blood from that. Or if you gave blood, some people donate blood on a regular basis. Sometimes they lose too much iron through that. You got to be careful.
Are you bleeding in your stools?
No. I've always donated every 8 weeks because everything's always been high. No bleeding in my stools, nothing out of the ordinary. Just my iron is extremely low in the past month. It's just even my energy is even more. I'm doing. I don't know if you see that's called like 10X. It's been popular. They check for like 72 different markers. I just signed up with them to do. They do blood work, but they check for like 72 different markers. And I think Joe Rogan talked a little bit about it, and then a lot of people are doing it. It's not too expensive. It's like $1,000 for the blood work. They do like genetic testing, and then they go over your blood and tell you certain vitamins you need, or and then they they help people get off their like statins and blood pressure medicine too. I don't take either of those, but they've got a good name, so I just signed up with them to get.
Something should just change with your chemistry. I used to when I was younger and I was a lot bigger, I would get blood tests and it said I was anemic. And now my hemoglobin and hematocrit are like a little bit high.
Yeah, mine's always been high. Then all of a sudden, boom, it was just really like low this past month.
Yeah, it's weird. When I was in the hospital and I had my heart surgery, my hemoglobin hematocrit dropped pretty low because they were taking blood left and right. I'm sure I lost blood during the surgery too. So, and then it built itself back up. So sometimes, you just crash for some reason. I don't know why. I've seen it in a few not a lot, but I've seen it in a few bodybuilders. Sometimes they just crash their iron levels. I would take an iron supplement for like maybe 2 weeks and then retest. Don't take it too long. You definitely don't want to have too much iron in your system,
Yeah, I got the one you told me to.
Genetic, Armand, you should check and see. It could be something genetic in you because my father had that. They used to put him on iron supplements and all that stuff. It was a genetic thing with him.
Yeah. Also, vitamin C really helps the absorption of iron. So if you're not taking enough vitamin C, sometimes you won't absorb iron properly. So you might want to boost that up like 2,000-3,000 milligrams a day. So
all right.
Dave, check your email.
Okay. I'm afraid to know what you sent me.
No, I just said.
Oh, John, what do you think he sent me?
A poop picture.
No.
Great. John will figure it out because John reads my mind.
Wait.
Think about what the show's been about.
MMA.
Oh, his daughter.
Right. Oh yeah, there you go. His daughter.
George figured it out.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
I was about to say that.
She's not gonna get mad, Greg, if we show her.
No, that's my daughter. Jitsu outfit and shit.
Oh, she looks like
she looks
just like daughter.
She's half black.
Yes, her
Really?
mother is. Her mother's black. Well, actually, her mother's mulatto. But yeah, she's quarter black. Yeah.
So you can borrow money now. So use her in your business.
It's really blue eyes though. Like if you saw her, you can't tell.
Wow, yeah.
She
really curly hair. Like her hair's long and curly. Like very.
She looks like an all-American girl.
Yeah.
But she's bad, bro. She could fight like you won't believe. Right now she's in deep boxing. Like You know, she fought bare knuckles. She does
wow.
MMA, Muay Thai. Now she's doing, you know, she wants to do, you know, she does full MMA, but now she's boxing a lot too.
So does she want to be like a pro MMA fighter, or?
I don't know. I don't think she wants to go that route. You know, she's crazy. She works in a Honda dealership. You know, she was an assistant mechanic, but now she does. She works in she runs the parts department. But she's crazy. Like she loves fighting. You know, she likes to fight. She goes in these like, you know, she used to go in like backyard brawl shit. Like,
I see on the
college. When she was in college, she used to fight girls. You know, she would tell me, "Dude, I took 2 girls on at one."
She after her old man.
Did you play rough with her growing up?
Yeah, she was. Like I have. She's won awards. Like she was the most athletic girl in the school. She played lacrosse from 8th grade. She was captain. She wasn't captain. She got captain in 10th grade. But a lacrosse team, played basketball from 8th grade. It was when I say 8th grade, I meant she was on varsity at 8th grade.
Wow.
She was varsity basketball, varsity lacrosse. She was jousting. She played on a football team, a girls' football team. She was the quarterback. I have videos. I should send you some of the videos of her throwing bombs. I mean, fucking bombs as a quarterback.
Really?
She's very rough. You know what I mean? Like she's
very athletic.
Oh yeah, she's super athletic.
Maybe you can get her a fight with Ronda Rousey.
I'll tell you, she would fight her. If you told my daughter, let me tell you something. She smokes more pot than Snoop Dogg. All them fucking MMA people, that's all they do is smoke marijuana.
Bodybuilders do too. They don't do Nubain anymore. They just smoke pot all day.
Oh, it's crazy. It's like
I did both.
She sit there with that bong, but you know.
Mahalik told me that to smoke pot so I relax. When I relax, you're gonna grow.
Yeah.
I miss smoking it.
I've gotten high with some top IFBB pros.
I use Larry?
Yeah, I have one daughter.
Okay, so we all have kids. Okay.
Yep.
I use a half of an edible on only on leg day, right after my leg workouts.
But doesn't it make you tired, Larry?
Yeah, that's like after the leg workout.
The idea,
not during.
What's the reason to use it, Larry? After you train?
Oh,
after I train legs, I am like so trashed. I can barely walk, and I cramp up really, really bad, no matter how much I drink and eat. But for some reason, if I take half that THC pill, I'm able to relax and I don't cramp up. Otherwise, I'm cramping up all night. Like I can barely get up to go to the bathroom. I'll lay down and I
can only train legs every 2 or 3 weeks. I can only train my quads every 2.
Well, I do them every week, but I'm like trashed afterwards.
So they severely cramp up on you when you go back home.
Yeah. Well, no, even like right afterwards, I'll be like walking up the stairs and just cramp up.
See, Larry, I train at night, and I train like that where I can't walk. I just did it last night, and
I only train legs on Saturday afternoon because I know after that I'm wrecked.
But it affects my sleep. Like I can't sleep. You know what I mean?
That's why I take that. I take that half THC pill, and I'm able to eat and relax, and then I don't cramp up all night long.
So does that make you high though? The THC doesn't make you high, does it?
Yeah,
or it does.
Yeah, but I don't care. Like after legs, I'm so trashed. All I could do there is lay there and watch a movie or something. I can't really do anything. I'm destroyed.
You're so hard, Larry. Is there any reason?
Why do I train so hard?
Yeah. Are you going to compete?
No, because I'm insane, and that's the only thing I look forward to every week.
Well,
that's like my one thing in the week that I look forward to is squatting crazy heavy weight and doing heavy leg press. I don't know. It does something for me.
All right. Well, we're running out of time, guys. Don't forget to catch John Romano and I's new show, Rips and Rants. We had an episode go up yesterday. There's also the Jimmy and Lee confessional show where Jimmy Paletti and Lee Priest, along with Tyler, the creator, read fans' confessions and give their opinions on that. So that's another show that's new on RX Muscle's YouTube channel. Check that out. And the Whack Pack will be back again next week. And John, any final words? Since you really didn't speak much today.
Yeah, well, I was absent the beginning of the show.
That's
so.
true.
Did
you know that Greg's daughter was a fighter? Did you know
I learned that today. I learned something new today that I didn't know 15 minutes ago. Yeah, that Greg's daughter is a great, and she's a good girl too.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking, John, if I build, if at some point in the future and I win the lottery and I build the Hall of Fame, the Bodybuilding Hall of Fame with the Hall of Fame gym and Hall of Fame cafe, who do you think should design the whole thing? I think that we should get you involved in.
I think I should. Yes,
of
absolutely.
the whole project.
If I don't do it, it'll suck.
That's going to be my legacy that I leave to the bodybuilding world.
I think we should do it anyway, whether you win it or not. We should just.
Well, we need money. Unless we're going to get someone to, we're going to get a benefactor to finance the whole thing.
As soon as this housing market turns around,
Dave, you got millions of dollars.
I wish.
Yeah. Ask your son. Ask your
If I
kids.
do it, it's going
Ask
to
your
be.
kids.
If I do it, it would have to be. I'm like a perfectionist. It would have to be insane. I need $10 million to do it the way I want to do it.
Hey, one thing I want to ask you guys.
You got to keep it going.
That's right.
What do you think was the reason? Like, I know there's different reasons, but what do you think there was two things that stuck out of my mind of why Hunter Labrada took second to Andrew Jack. And
I was right in the front third row, so.
It always beats a good little man, according to Lee Haney, and that's the reason.
But there was two flaws that he had. One, I noticed in prejudging he had no tan or very light tan.
Yeah.
So Andrew Jack, like he really stood out, and Hunter looked really faded. You could barely see him. And the other thing was his midsection. He has no abs.
Who?
When Hunter, the longer he poses, the worse he gets. He gets horrible when he.
But he had no abs, and he was losing control of his midsection. Like in turns, he was losing control of it. And there's this thing that people started a long time ago. They don't train their abs. And the idea is that you don't want your waist to get bigger, and I think that's total
shit.
Yeah.
The opposite, Larry.
Yeah, we always trained our abs like back from. I still train abs like every workout.
Yeah, I do too. That's why
I train them every night. Yeah,
I train them every day.
And pre-contest, I train them daily.
Yep.
And that didn't make my waist bigger.
Especially if you do twists and when the exercises that are more like to pull your midsection in.
I just think, John, people think it makes the midsection bigger, but what it does, it gives you better abdominal control.
You're absolutely right. It does.
Yeah, that's what you need.
Yep.
You don't have to use weight; just use your body weight. You just
burn it up. That's what you want to do.
I do both. I use body weight stuff, and I use a Nautilus crunch machine. I can use a whole stack, 200 pounds for like
best machine
30 reps.
Oh yeah,
that's awesome.
Oh man, yeah.
I use that every week. I use that thing.
The chain driven.
Yeah.
Best equipment ever.
And you put
specifically that ab machine. That ab machine was the best ever.
I still have that thing.
Over all of that shit. Chain driven. It's got to be chain driven.
They got the new Nautilus now. Doesn't what's his name? Son own the company. The guy Arthur Jones.
He owns Hammer.
Hammer Strength.
I thought he owns the new Nautilus too. One of the grandson or something like that.
Maybe, but the new Nautilus is not as good as the old Nautilus.
No, I know.
Dude, first, second generation at the best. With the chain, it has to be chain driven. That shit was on every machine was phenomenal.
I have all of them.
All right. Take home message for today. Make sure you go train your abs. And on that note, we're out of time. I'm Dave Palumbo with John Romano for the entire Whack Pack. We'll see you next week.
Drop the reps, increase the dose.